Hello. In this tutorial, I'd like to talk a little bit about how you search for Pricebook options in the estimate or the extra work order screens. This is an important concept to be at least a little bit comfortable with, because as you applying and using these Pricebook options, obviously the list gets pretty big. Oftentimes, especially in these two scenarios, the customer is sitting right there, and so you want to be able to do it easily and quickly, and this helps that a lot, and I'll show you what that means here in a second. Before I do that, I first want to show a brief overview of how you define your Pricebook options. I know we covered this in the Getting Started tutorial, but I think it's important to do it here again. Again, it's in the configuration Pricebook section. You have two types of things. You have the Pricebook categories and the Pricebook options themselves. The Pricebook categories are basically just arbitrary groupings of Pricebook items. In this particular example, there are based on categories such as brickwork cabinets, particular model, particular sub. Again, these are arbitrary groupings, and it really doesn't matter that much, and I'll show you why that is in a second. And of course, the other one is in the Pricebook is the actual Pricebook options themselves. Each Pricebook option is defined, associated with a category, and then it has a description. And these descriptions, again, arbitrary text. You can put in whatever you want. You can put your search terms in there, and you'll be able to find. I'll show you what that means again. So you define your categories, you define your Pricebook options. And now you need to use these things, and they're pretty much basically used in creating estimates and in generating extra work orders. So I am going to we'll just pick a customer at random pretty much here, and we're going to go into the estimate screen. The extra work order screen works pretty much exactly the same way. There's a little difference. It doesn't have the option amounts, but as far as adding options and adding specials and searching for them, they all work exactly the same. And as I said before, you have two different types of things you can add. You had the actual add option, which is something right out of your Pricebook, and then you have the add special, which is an ad hoc thing. We're not really going to cover the add special at the moment, because we're talking about searching for these Pricebooks, making it easier to grab them, but that's what that is. So what we're talking about really is the add option button, which when you press this, whichever item you have Pricebook option you have selected in this pull down gets added to the Pricebook options for this customer's estimate. So the whole goal here really is to find the right thing in this quickly. You're talking with the customer about door walls, and they say, yeah, I want an Anderson door wall. So you need to find the Anderson door wall here and add it to their estimate. Obviously, you want to do that as easily and quickly as possible, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Basically, what happens is you enter one or two search terms up here. You hit the enter key, and then it filters this pull down to only the entries that contain that item. So, for example, let's go with the Anderson. And you only have to add enough of the text to make it unique. You don't necessarily have to type in all of Anderson. I'm just going to type in Ander and door. I think that'll probably do it. I'm going to hit enter. There we go, Anderson door wall. And in this Pricebook, there's only one, so that makes it easy. A real Pricebook, there's probably going to be a couple, but you have a lot less to deal with here. So we're going to hit Anderson door wall. We're going to select it. We're going to hit add option. It adds that option to this customer's estimate, and now we can move on to the next item. So one thing I want to point out on these is that case does not matter. In other words, uppercase and lowercase, you don't have to match on those. So I'm going to say I'm going to look for bank of drawers. I'll type in bank. Drawer, and it matches on cabinets, bank of drawers, no problem. The other thing I should mention is that you can hit the reset button, clear these out. You don't have to. You can type in, say, elect to get electrical, hit enter on the first bunch, and you get your list. And if that is, you don't see what you want quickly, you tab over to the next one or click into that field and type in, say, 220. And now you've got all your electrical 220 items, and you can pick from whichever one you want. Say I typed in a bad term here, or it wasn't what I wanted. You can just delete the term, hit enter, and anytime you hit enter in either of these two boxes, it redoes the search and the filtering. So now I've got my whole list, and it was microwave I wanted, whatever. Type in micro, and then it filters for all the electrical microwave items. So using these two search boxes, you're basically using these two search boxes to populate this so you can select it, hit the add option button, and put this in the Pricebook section. Using these two, it makes it very easy to get quickly to the one you want, and saves you a lot of time, and it helps you. Again, our goal here is to generate this estimate while the customer's sitting there, and so they can take it with them and be really impressed with your organization. So that's basically how it works. If you have any questions, feel free to drop us an email at sales@builderhub.com. Otherwise, we'll be looking forward to seeing you on the next tutorial. Have a good day.